You are hanging out with the boys from Just Chirpin. Welcome to the show.
And for a quick word from the sponsors here, we have Perani's Hockey World with all your hockey needs. On Your Game with all your game needs. Skates Pro Shop, offering you everything from skate sticks, pucks, and more. And True Edge for all your skate needs particularly. What's up, boys? It's been a minute. How you guys been doing?
What's going on, guys? It's been pretty good and busy on this end.
Heck yeah. Well, Chris, man, what's new with you, buddy?
Just, getting through the week here. Went after it a little hard this weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Threw out my back on Sunday. Wasn't moving furniture this time. It was golfing. So
well, you threw your back out reaching your golf clubs that had slid up to the front of the bed.
You didn't have to bring that part up.
They need to know.
I also hurt my wrist on Saturday. So
that was a freak accident.
That wasn't golf
unrelated. Hey, Chris, if you want to quit golf, just let me know.
Not interested. So, yeah. Got outside, enjoyed also on that, Saturday really sucked. We had a late tee time. So by the time we got out there, we were about 20, 30 minutes before it started to rain on us. So the temperature went from 70 down to 60 plus rain. So we made it through 8 holes before we called it good.
Yep, we called it a night at that.
Hey, man, sounds like you had a good, eventful weekend. Well,
I'd sell your clubs.
What about you? What about you?
They'd have to go to an antique museum.
Yeah.
True that.
What's going on with you, Brent?
Yeah, what's going on with you, bud?
Oh, you guys know, busy weekend here. We had our first weekend of the Silver Puck Challenge. We had the Rec Co-Ed, the Petter Kellogg Cup was on. And then we also had the first inaugural bracket, the SPC Taxi Squad bracket, which was kind of like a BB plus hybrid. And holy smokes, a lot of good hockey was played this weekend. A lot of people getting together. It was, after last year, with being able to only do 8 teams a weekend, we had full boat this weekend with 16 teams. Ages varied from 18 up into the 60s. So it was good. It was a lot of fun. And for the record, for those listening or those that were there, I am officially part of the team that lost to Brad DeVries for the first time in the history of Silver Puck.
Oh, my gosh, you poor bastard.
Yeah, he gave me some riot punch, and it sounded like a good idea, and I just kept going. I kept slapping the bag and rolling.
You had that one coming.
I earned it.
All right, my turn.
Yeah, Steph. Well, we're gonna come back to the SPC a little bit. But what's up with you, Steph?
Yeah, I had one of those working weekends, so...
you just said you went. Well, I'm cutting you off. You just said you went golfing.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Hey, when it's the weekend, you start early, you get out early, and you hit that 4 or 5 o'clock tee time. You guys know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you have to do it when you work.
I think Jay just took the day off on Friday to go golfing. He had a 9 a.m. tee time.
No.
There's nothing wrong with a 9 a.m. on a Friday.
I did not have a tee time. I had to call 6 different courses to get a tee time, and it was a whim, and I only got to play 9 and had to hustle down to Detroit, which we'll get to when it's my turn.
Oh, well, that's all I had for you. So now it's your turn. Hey,
my turn. So, yes, I did hit the links on, which would have been Friday morning. Random. I was going to go to work and just getting stuff together and started running out of time, and from where I had to drive to and get back, and for unloading all the tools, I'm like, for 2 hours worth of work didn't make sense to me.
You can find a real good excuse to go golfing when you have all that stacked up against
Plus,
you.
I think I started watching the Tiger Woods thing on Netflix the night before, so it kind of had me jonesing a little bit.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. So
you got to play hooky once in a while, Jay.
Yeah. So that was on Friday, but the big news is, boys, so we had that gauntlet tournament down in Detroit for all those Pee Wee hockey teams.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we went down at the Pee Wee AA level. I don't know the name of the tier, but we're like the how 3 level bracket. And we took it home, 5 straight wins, man.
Oh, the boys came home with some hardware.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool because we built this team. Half the boys were probably from last year's team, but the other half were like new newer kids coming from different programs. Never met them, and the boys, we only had a couple weeks with them on the ice, a couple practices. Coach Atkinson there at GV did a great job putting these kids together. He did all this. I'm just the assistant coach, by the way. I gotta be completely honest about that.
Well, you got a boy on the team too.
Yeah, I got a kid on the team, and but all the credit goes to him. He did a great job with these kids and putting them together, and they played their little hearts out and won it. And the cool thing is my buddy was playing down there for the tier 1 or whatever, which would have been HOW-1 team bracket. And also our other buddy, Markin. So his kids was down there, his team.
Yeah.
For the HOW-1.
Yep.
And it all happened to be when those two played each other, they were playing at the same rink that we had just got done playing at. So I was able to watch their games. And so I had a buddy's kid who plays on one team and a buddy whose kid played on another team over the weekend and for that division, and they ended up winning it as well.
There was a lot of teams down there from West Michigan. I mean, my Facebook feed was just blown up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what teams are associated with what, but there was a lot of kids out there playing hockey this weekend.
Rockford was there, and this was, I believe, for a higher level because I did see Brant there at that same rink. That rink was just had everybody from the same area because we played Graha in that rink. And then, so Graha was there, Fox Motors, Grand Valley Stars, and then again, Rockford. Those are the only ones that I know from the area. But yeah, so the Plymouth Flyers, Pee Wee AA, HOW-1 team, took the championship home as well. So that was pretty cool. That's my best friend from high school's kid plays on that team. But
very good job. I'm sure your coaching helped them out tremendously. Achieve that win.
My Lord. You know what?
Are you going to get a ring, by the way?
We got a, seriously though, boys, the kids took home a W welterweight, I don't know what you call them.
Championship belt.
It's a belt. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. But I was trying to think of the NW.
Is this the remix?
WWF.
Yeah,
NWE.
That one.
Trademarks.
Yeah, my dad wouldn't let me watch that stuff growing up.
NWA, whatever.
Yeah, those guys. That's exactly what I was probably trying to accidentally spit out. But anyways,
that's all right.
So they took home the belt, which was a pretty cool thing. My first time being on the bench in the locker room and being a part of the whole
Did you get a belt?
No.
Yeah, he got a discount double check.
I had my I had my cowboy boots on and my belt buckle and a plaid jacket. And
see, you should have put the mustache.
And when I was reviewing the pictures yesterday of from the parents that took them all from us being on the ice taking pictures.
I'm glad you're touching on this because I had a thought.
I look like
I don't need a belt.
I look like a jackass.
I was gonna say pedophile, but jackass is totally.
I called
fine.
the coach the other day and I was like, "Where can I get some gear? Because I gotta play the part.
Where can I get some damn bait?"
So, anywho's,
wait, even after we gave crap to Stephan about a month ago for coaching in jeans, you still decided to show up like that.
The call.
Yeah, I'm not on the ice, so I'm not skating.
You're on the bench though.
But you guys were giving Stephan crap. If you re-listen back, I also said I wear jeans at practice.
Where are your slacks? You are coach. You need a tie.
He needs warm-ups at least. A lot of these coaches.
That's what the other coaches were wearing warm-ups.
Did they have their name on their chest?
Of course.
I don't remember exactly.
Like the kids can't remember.
Do you have a clip-on tie or do you have the?
It's for the parents to know who you are.
I didn't want to go too dressy because I knew that the coaches were wearing.
The parents are giving their kids away to a coach they don't know their name to.
That's why you have it on the breast.
Right now. In case, I hope you guys are super good listeners.
We have two conversations going on here. Sorry. We needed to do a little bit of a sidebar before we went forward.
Well, yeah. So, okay. So, you know what? We could go on about this all day. How proud I am of these kids and how good they did. But you know what? I want to hear from Chris. What's new in the news, buddy?
Just a couple things. I don't know if you guys had seen on Shark Tank, but a local Michigan company was on there the other week, showing or pitching their idea for a floating grill. Well, it's not an idea. They actually have prototypes and everything. But apparently they walked away with the deal. It's just to go out with boating when you're out there out on the water. Take your grill out there and just grill in the water.
I'm sinking that thing. I am not going to lie. You put it in a pool, put it in a lake, I'm cannonballing the shit out of that thing.
I'm actually really surprised that they got a deal on it. But, I've been to a few of these boat days around Michigan and stuff, and you could definitely, there's a need for that. Because usually it's just somebody out there with a PVC pipe hot glued to the bottom of their grill, stuck in the middle of the water. So there is definitely a need for it. But
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a pretty cool little thing. I looked it up.
Until you die.
Yeah, wait, I can't believe you guys are sitting here seriously entertaining this. This
it's
is like one of the dumbest.
on water.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like seriously.
Absolutely.
No. Listen, do you
There's
know?
everybody. No, stop. I'm going to stop everybody. Everybody has that one friend that sits up on the shore. He doesn't swim anyways. Let him cook the burgers.
Yeah, for sure.
You know
Let
what I'm
him
getting
cook
at?
the burgers. Yeah.
Other than that, man, I'm tipping that shit over.
Or bring a portable
But that's-
grill and put it on the bow of the boat or somewhere.
Oh, what? Stefan, this is weird. Other alternatives?
Right. Let's integrate a floaty and a grill and make it cool. Okay.
Hey, Mark Cuban. I hope you didn't invest into this one.
It probably was
the
Cuban.
founder of Kind Bars.
Who's
the
that?
granola bars.
Which one's
I
that
can't
guy? Oh, is
remember
that
his name, but he's a guest host.
the
Oh,
Mr. Nice Guy?
Of
or
course,
Mr.
yeah. No,
Mr. Grumpy?
Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful, that's what it was. He's a prick.
Oh, so you've seen the show.
Once or twice.
I think that's the joke. Anyways,
Remind me why neither of you have ever invented anything again?
right.
Picking on the guy who's about to make millions.
Not a forward thinker.
Lots of stupid ideas make millions of dollars.
Nope,
Yes, they do.
Because
Yeah,
all
like your idea to do this podcast.
oh, shots fired! Shots fired!
I always,
You guys, Jay just
I
went
always
home.
said from the beginning it was stupid.
What else you have, Chris?
One last thing here. Alan Jackson.
I love that guy. I can't wait to hear this.
Decided to make some comments here about country music, and apparently, according to him, over the last 10 years, it's been dead. Lost its soul, doesn't really have any feeling, and I don't know if he just said that to hype his new album, which he apparently has coming out, and
Really?
apparently has some soul and some feeling on it, but I thought that was interesting that, he's going to rip on Luke Bryan's sushi joint down in Nashville.
Well, you know what he did? He went down there on a Chattahoochee and did some thinking about country music.
You know what? Though? I'll say this. In the last 10 years, I have said country music has sound better than it ever has. From 2000, 2010, that was the garbage era for me. I did not enjoy any of the country music. I'm sure there's a few songs that I enjoyed.
So pretty much Alan Jackson's era.
Well,
No, Alan Jackson was more
in the
80s,
80s.
90s. Yeah.
80s and 90s
Wasn't
country
he coming
music.
out with some of that like goofy stuff in
Not Alan
He's
Jackson.
hoping you weren't
who am
supposed
I
to
thinking
remember
of
that.
then?
Kenny Chesney.
No, those like
Toby Keith.
goofy songs.
What was it, Chris
Red
Gaines?
Solo Cup. I fill you up. Let's
is
have
that?
a party.
Please stop singing.
There's those.
And then he did the Applebee's ads. Toby Keith. Yeah.
I might
Maybe
be
you heard
drawing
of
a
him.
I do
blank.
like Alan Jackson. I'll probably listen to it.
We went to an Alan Jackson concert a couple years ago, back when you could go to concerts.
Back
Did you
in
take
the,
your grandparents?
yeah.
No, I took
whoa,
my
whoa,
wife,
stop
you
right there.
jerk.
Back in the 90s, I actually took my mom.
Well,
Good
she
show.
took you.
No.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're about 90.
Yeah.
I forgot. What was that like wheeling her in there? It was like a geriatric party.
Oh, man. I can't even retort to any of this.
All of this is very, very true.
Yeah, I really wish I could. But we're in the upper bowl, too, so it was even more difficult.
You had to take the elevator. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I was so at Alan Jackson's concert, this guy is like a mountain of a man. And he's just trotting around stage like a giraffe. And he's handing out t-shirts. He's about 150. It was ridiculous. Good performer though.
Oh, absolutely.
Great performer.
I was just looking up some stuff on Alan Jackson. I did have him confused, but he's got great stuff. For listeners, I don't even know the names of my favorite songs, nor the people. I mean, I might know the band, but for the most part, I couldn't tell you the words in it and the name. I don't, for some reason, remember that once it's said and done. But like when it turns on, I'm like, ooh, it's my jam.
These two characters thinking they can sing.
But I want to get into this real quick. So, SPC. I want to dive a little bit more into that, but before we want to talk about the giveaway from Perani. So that's kind of linked with the SPC. And what we're doing here for the giveaway is Perani is giving us some merch and I believe some free skate sharpening tickets. So let's give those guys a round of applause right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peranis.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Peranis.
And so how are you going to win this? Well, you have to tell us how many beers we have opened on this episode.
Wait,
What'd you say?
can you say it on again?
On this episode.
You're from the Midwest. You're supposed to say on.
On the episode.
There you go.
On this episode.
That's more like it, don't you know there, you hoser?
I don't know. You know what? You've made fun of me for this before.
On.
That was a little much, Stephan.
Too much?
Yes.
So anyways,
Just like that motorcycle that just drove
so
It probably
again,
wasn't picked up by the mic. Quit complaining.
you have to tell us how many beers we have opened on the episode. Now, where do you tell us?
On the episode.
No. They're not telling us on the episode.
Now, you guys can go out to our website at www.justchirpin.com and go to our contact page and send us a message there with how many beer cracks you heard. And we will have a drawing after that with the correct answers. And we will select our winner from there. And we will probably reveal it. What, do you want to do it next week?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we've got a few prizes here, don't we?
We'll do the reveal on the show, and then so it sounds like Perani's is going to be giving us a care package for every SPC tournament. So I'll touch bases more with them tomorrow in the next couple days when I go pick this up from them. But yeah, it sounds like they're going to be doing one for every tournament, so that would be really cool. So we'll do this past week's. We probably should have done it last week, but this whole ordeal didn't kind of happen until last minute. So we'll do catch up after. And so next week we'll do the week before, and now you guys all know what's going on. We'll do the announcement of who won, and then we'll do another giveaway that week as well.
This is kind of like a catch-up week anyways, because we're going to be
Right.
touching on a few things
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, exactly. So
by next Wednesday, then, the 26th by 5, submit it
yes,
on the
and
website, and it's on the contact us. at
Yes,
the
there's a
bottom, right?
contact
There's
page.
contact
There's a little
page?
spot where you
Awesome.
could type in whatever
Yes.
information you want and just say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 30.
yeah, we still got a lot of show left.
Whoa.
So,
Yeah.
Well, we're not quite there yet. I am keeping track.
Gonna be drunk.
but yeah, and so for those who may not be the most tech savvy, could you, sir, walk them through that? If there's anything more clear than what you already said, because I wouldn't know what to do.
No, that's why I asked him if there was a contact page.
Yes, there is a contact page. If you can't figure it out, go find your 3-year-old niece. Tell her how to spell justchirpin.com and how to spell contact us.
I tell you what we'll do. How about this? So we'll post
Put a
on
link in the bio.
Facebook.
Yes,
This
we
will
do
go
that.
on Facebook, and when you post this episode, you're gonna put the link to the contact page.
Yes, absolutely. We'll put that out there, and we'll actually repost our question, and you guys go ahead and give that a click and go right directly to the page. You won't have to figure out all that stuff.
Yeah,
But if you're
perfect.
on the fly or you're listening, and you don't have access to it right away, you can do it that way.
All right,
Just
perfect.
Go to the webpage.
We're gonna give you multiple ways. Following this whole multiple ways, remember, please smash that subscribe, follow, like button right now. In fact, we're gonna give you a moment of silence to do so.
Actually, I'm doing it right now.
And thank you very much. Seriously, guys, though, the reason we're able to do these giveaways and get these sponsors is by having follows and likes. As much as we'd rather not do it that way, that's how it has to be done. But if you could just help us out and hit that button, that would be freaking fantastic. So anyways, jumping into SPC, man, you touched a little bit about it, but was there anything that you want to bring up before we move on?
No, it's just a seriously great weekend. The SBC Taxi Squad bracket was new this year. It was basically a bunch of teams that sat on a waiting list, and year after year after year, I had to tell them no. This year, I had the space to drop them in and let them duke it out to find out how they stand and see where they fit within the Silver Puck Challenge kind of structure, if you will, and did a little evaluation today, and I think maybe a few of these teams will be placed next year. A great evaluation process. It was fun to see these guys play. It was more competitive than I really thought it was going to be for that bracket. A lot of fun watching that one. The Rec Co-Ed, the Petter Kellogg Cup, that was an extremely, extremely, extremely fun bracket to watch.
Yes.
I heard that Nate is the shootout sponsor of the weekend.
Yeah, Nate's team had 3 shootouts in a row, all 3 games. The whole bracket was very competitive within 2 goals. Nate had a vet sports team in, and I want to touch base on that Zach Rankin and Joe Labazoo also had a team in the SPC taxi squad.
The boys from last week.
Yeah, the boys
Yeah,
from
how'd they
last
fare?
week. They didn't fare so well, but they had a lot of fun.
Oh, that's exactly
right.
how
But
I thought.
you warned them.
I did. I warned them. They had a good time. They met some new people, and the hockey community here in Grand Rapids grows once again. Coming out of the SPC taxi squad bracket, we had an SPC team win, which is kind of a future team for the B+. Not getting into all that stuff detail too much, but they got a chance to try out the tournament. They're a real young squad. They're the 2016-ish boys from Kentwood High School. And then in the Petter Kellogg Cup, we had BLB winning back-to-back titles this year. So it was a lot of fun to watch. It was a good show. Good time.
Well, good, man. That's fantastic. And everything went smoothly. You didn't have to chop anybody's head off or fire anybody or
No, actually,
eliminate any team.
this
Can't
was
come
the
back.
most anxiety weekend that I've had in a long time. It's just been stressful, as is anyways. And I thought that SBC Taxi Squad bracket was going to just be a bonfire. I really did.
Yeah, I knew you were concerned with how these teams were going to mesh and
Yes.
how well, as far as even matchups go, because you don't really have a salary cap for that, right? It's just kind of build a team.
It is, but
or-
it's a pretty wide salary cap. Like in the other brackets, there might be 0.5 differential, if
Right.
that makes sense, dollars or whatever. If you follow me, you'll know what I'm talking about. And this one, it was almost 2. So there
That's
was
pretty
a
big spread.
bottom and there was a top, because I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that teams wanted to play in the higher brackets, they could get some boys together, see how they did, and teams that might want to play in the B.
Well, let's
or
be
whatnot.
honest.
So-
It might not have been in full intention, and maybe it was, and you can answer that here in a second. But having a weekend like that, and again, you're trying to grow, so you're trying to bring in new teams. Having a weekend like that for specifically new teams to get vetted for the following year, like how much better can you do it? Like you said, you just filled a B+ spot by having that, and you probably didn't even think you were going to have that level of team.
Absolutely.
At that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It seriously was. Looking at some of these teams, I broke it down today, and I was like, "You're ready for the B+. You're ready for the B+. You cut this guy, and you'll be a perfect fit for the B. You add a couple guys, you'll be perfect for the B. You cut a few of these guys, you're perfect for the C."
Right.
I mean, it was a good way to evaluate and kind of get a good idea, so that a new team doesn't, rickroll
Yeah.
everybody that's been there for a while.
Not only that, you don't have to be like, I don't know if you're gonna fit in. And now it's a lot easier when you know the team. Right?
It is.
You're like, oh, well, you'll fit perfect there. So now all you gotta do is say, okay, well, now all I gotta do is get another team. Well, crap, that year 2 of those teams they can come into the B bracket. Now I just expanded the B bracket by 2 more teams. You know what I mean? Like, that's a cool thing. Or maybe now you, like you said, you're trying to grow. So grow another weekend and have another weekend with
Absolutely.
another bracket and stuff like that. So no, that's really cool, man. I'm really glad that you decided to do that this year.
Thank you.
It's really gonna benefit you and your SPC, your baby. So that's super awesome. Well, anything else that comes to mind that you wanted to talk about?
The only thing that I might want to say is I had a lot of fun Saturday, courtesy of Brad DeVries. Those that saw me there, I made it through the weekend. I had a good time, but that has been one of the rougher weekends that I have had personally in 17 years. I had a lot of fun. Nothing bad about it at all. I did lose to Brad DeVries, and that is the first win for those guys in all the years of playing. And you're welcome.
Fair enough. Well, then, hey, guys, let's get to the meat and the potatoes of this dang show. Stephan, you want to take it away?
All right, ladies and gents, playoff hockey is upon us. So we have the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Islanders. Toronto facing Montreal, Washington and Boston, which we're watching right now, Edmonton and Winnipeg, Carolina and Nashville, Colorado and St. Louis, Florida versus Tampa Bay, and Las Vegas versus Minnesota.
Oh, that whole Livingston Montana matchup.
It's a beauty, eh?
That's gonna be a great one.
So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna us three hockey guys are gonna pick who's coming out of each matchup, and then for every series, we're gonna pick a team coming out of it. So we're gonna give you our picks, and I'll start. So for me, my pick.
What's the first matchup? Let's go first matchup.
First matchup. We'll go first matchup in the round. Pittsburgh and New York Islanders. I pick Pittsburgh over New York.
I'm taking the Islanders.
Jay's got the Islanders.
I'm taking the Islanders. I can't stand Pittsburgh.
Okay, fair enough. Next matchup, Toronto and Montreal. I've got Toronto.
I'm going to say Toronto, too.
That's the only one I haven't circled yet, and it's because I'm just, like, torn. So I'm going to
go with Toronto. They're better than Montreal.
Yeah, I'm just going to do that with you guys because you know what's going on.
Perfect.
Actually, Montreal's pronounced Montana. Now, listen to this. As we're setting up the teams and we're talking about this earlier, Jay's he can't figure out the initials, so he actually thought Montreal was Montana.
I might have said Montana. I thought I was talking about Joe Montana, but for the flip of this, I'll let you make fun of me.
Moving right
Just going to put sugar in your gas tank later.
Get them where it hurts. Washington and Boston. I choose Washington.
I chose Boston. Just because I like Boston.
I'm going with Washington only because I am not a fan of Marchand.
Yeah, I like Ove, but I do like Marchand a little bit.
Okay. Edmonton and Winnipeg. I choose Edmonton.
Yep, that's where I went.
I went with McJesus myself.
And I pause because I'm jotting down the picks. Carolina versus Nashville.
Carolina done.
You guys are going Carolina?
Oh, Ron Francis.
That's another one I'm not exactly sure on, but I mean the Predators are got some cool sweaters.
You got to decide.
Got to pick one.
Pick one.
I did. I circled Nash.
Oh, Predators. All right. Yeah. My bad. Colorado versus St. Louis. I choose Colorado.
Patrick Waugh is hot.
Yeah, no, dude, listen, Colorado is my jam.
Jay, you have two choices.
Okay, so Jay's got Colorado.
But no, I went with St. Louis.
Oh, Jesus. Jay over here. Okay. Florida versus Tampa Bay.
I know Tampa Bay's the favorite coming out of here, but I
took Tampa.
I'm gonna root for Florida. They're a bit of an underdog, but I definitely think that they're ready. I think they're ready to compete, and I think they might be able the ones to knock off Stamkos and the Lightning.
I want to see Tampa punch them right in their mouth.
Okay. Last matchup, the Livingston Golden Knights, and what was the other one? Montana Wild.
No, listen, it was not Montana Wild. Somebody said Wisconsin because there was a WIN, and I'm
Livingston
like, all right. That was about Winnipeg, anyways.
All right, so I digress. We got Vegas versus Mini. What are you guys taking? I'm taking Vegas.
I'm gonna have to follow your lead on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually. I am changing my mind on that one. I was going the Wild, but I think I am gonna change to Las Vegas, the Golden Knights.
Perfect. All right, so you guys got the playoff matchups for the first round, our picks, and then we'll report back after the first round.
So what are we? Are we all doing a bet? You guys want to do a little bet for the show?
Yeah, we'll throw $5 on who can have the most accurate picks.
I'm not talking about a bet. I'm talking like a dare.
Oh,
your hair.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm in.
Right.
I'm in. I don't even know what the consequences are,
That's
but this is how I've lived my whole life.
Like whoever gets the most wrong has to do whatever we. How about the listeners get to come up with what we have to do?
Don't like half of those. Nope. I could definitely see that this will not be good for me. I think I would rather have it Chris's
We're going to get a giant list of things we could choose from, but how about the listeners give us a list of stuff for next week to come up with.
I just got nauseous.
Yeah, the guy that loses has to.
Listen, we can always lie and say that somebody said something that we made up if we don't like what they say.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
Well, now they know.
I don't care. So give us some options. It's got to be a dare, nothing crazy, please. I do like, like my hair and my beard, but yeah.
And I don't.
Let us know what the loser has to take on.
Okay.
Anything,
We'll sort it out
anything
then.
goes short of putting us in jail.
Wait, what's the one I want? Nope, not this one. Ready, guys? What are they gonna pick for us? Anyways,
All right. So
moving
you guys got the playoff matchups, and we'll further report on that as the playoffs go. Hockey's on my TV every time I'm home, as long as I can get bubble guppies off the TV. So there was a nice little playoff tilt between Landeskog and Schenn that was a result of what appeared to be a bit of a knee-to-knee, and Schenn had to answer the bell to the captain, Landeskog.
Yep. Play stupid game.
Get stupid prizes?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it looks like Landeskog got the better of him in that
I would
tilt.
agree.
Kind of looked like he turtled a little bit at the end.
I don't know. They both delivered some good blows to one another. I just think Schenn went down. I think he took a couple and was like, okay, screw this. Because he didn't like lose balance, went down. I feel like he gave up, went down.
Yeah,
How do you guys feel about that?
No,
Well,
because
he-
he got popped in the face enough time that he couldn't see through the tears in his eyes.
He threw some good hands though.
Yeah, well, they both threw hands. Pretty good. I
thought
thought
Schenn was manhandled.
Landeskog bested him a bit.
Oh, yeah.
My opinion. How he went down, sure, maybe he went down a little bit, but I watched it in slow mo, and he kind of was almost done with the fight. A little turtle went on there,
Okay, hold on, guys.
just a little bit.
Pulling it up here real quick. Slow motion. Helmet. Uppercut miss. Helmet. Dude, Sheen pops the helmet off with a couple good blows to the face. You know what I mean?
It's Schenn.
Sorry.
Get it
Sheen.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so he just took too good to the chops, but he still has... Yeah, okay. I guess. Slow motion. I give Schenn credit for popping the helmet off first with a couple good... what do you call those jabs when you're holding? Is it just when you're holding the jersey? Like I call them jabs, but you grab the jersey and
Punch to the face.
Their
Some quick jabs.
jersey jab.
Jersey jab.
Oh, man, Biz called it something else, and then I can't remember now.
Yeah, I
but
think there's like a term they use. But,
yeah, we're not at that national level.
but I'm calling it a jab.
Yeah, I'd consider it
A
more
jersey
of a
jab.
But you're trying to tie up the other guy's, forward hand. Say he's a righty, you're going to grab him on the right shoulder, and while you have him, you're going to start jabbing away the best you can,
Feeding him some chin music.
feeding him. But hey, early in the playoffs, and we've got a tilt between, two pretty decent players that probably don't do a ton of fighting. That's interesting.
It looks like it's going to be
Sets the tone.
Looks like it's going to be not just a physical series, but overall the playoffs, it does look like it's dialed up a little bit.
Well, for the most part, these teams have been playing each other the entire season without.
There's some animosity between.
There's
some
a
of these
lot
guys.
built up. This is going to be a very interesting playoff.
That Florida and Lightning.
Oh, heck
That's
yeah!
another one. That's
The Battle of Florida, for crying out loud.
There was back and forth every game leading into it.
Yeah,
We got Boston and Washington. I mean,
Yeah.
where do you want to go?
lots of battles. In other hockey news, it's kind of a hot point for Detroit fans. I.XII signed Blashill for a contract extension. I'm not exactly sure the numbers or the terms. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I mean, the Wings have practically been the dead Wings of the 80s all over again.
Let's not even talk about the Dead Wings. We got 5 more years for that.
Hold on.
Okay, fair enough.
Do we think that Blash is a bad coach because of this, or do you think he's dealing with a
Okay.
bad team? I mean,
No, this is my personal impression. Anybody can argue.
hey, you know what? We need to make a segment called "What Brent Believes."
Yes, it's what I believe.
Yeah.
I think that Blashill has never truly been a great coach. I think he's been blessed with a lot of good players that have come across his plate, and he's been able to get them through a season or in the playoffs, and maybe kind of enjoyed the fruits of his labor. I guess I don't know how else to put it. I think now, once all those guys retired in Detroit, he's been the one that's had all this new talent coming his way. And he hasn't really, in my opinion, done anything great with any of these guys. I think the only reason that he's in Detroit is Detroit will not be a contender for another 2 years. And if you look at his contract, it is not worth that much. So when you become a contender, you go get a real coach. And that is my personal opinion. And Stevie Y, I trust.
Okay.
So
He was a great coach in Grand Rapids, and that's
once again, he had great talent.
right.
Is he really a good coach? Western Michigan, great talent. Was he really a good coach?
Well,
hey,
let me
very good
ask-
point.
Let me ask you this though. Like, okay, so the devil's advocate, I'm gonna play that all day long. You take a guy with great talent, but with great talent, you still have to have good coaching to aim the team in the correct direction, right? So let me ask you this real quick. Is the team the last couple of years for Red Wings been younger than most?
Absolutely.
Yeah, considering.
Okay. So here's something I'm
rather.
considerably. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, right?
Yep.
So here's the theory, though. And this is a theory I'm making up on the fly, so you guys can chew me up and spit me out if you like, and please give me your feedback on our, our forum,
Social media.
Yeah, social
or
media. Let
the
me know.
forum or
But
wherever.
my
Email.
theory here is I'm just taking this on. These kids are getting younger and younger and younger, right?
You're just
Harder
getting older.
to coach, harder to get to hear you the noggin a little bit. They get in the pros, they start making this money, they get their heads really big, yada, yada, yada. Do you think that has anything to do with him building a team, the fact that the team is so young?
Yeah, I think that's probably a bit of a factor in it. The age difference, what he was working with in Grand Rapids, what happened when he took over the helm in Detroit with the big dogs retiring. It's a different ball game for him. And to Brent's point about the dollars and cents and giving this guy a couple more shots another shot at it for a couple more years, let's just see what happens. He could be a great coach.
The other thing is, too, is like, think about it. You look at Blashill. This is me processing this whole thing. He walks in a room with Nicholas Lidstrom.
He doesn't have to say anything when Nicky Lindstrom is your captain.
He doesn't have to do anything. And those boys, they might have not done as great as they would have hoped, okay? Because there was a lot of pieces that were kind of coming and going, injuries, new draft picks, stuff like that. Once the old helm walked away, and trust me, the old helm probably did not listen to him. He probably Blashill probably listened to them. Now he's sat here to run all these young kids. I agree with Jay a little bit. It's probably got to be a little bit harder to manage, nowadays with the way everything's going. But I just don't see the respect there.
And then the setback with COVID, I mean, that affects every team. But again, from a guy building a new team, dealing with that battle, and then too, on top of that, like the Wings were, when they were the Wings, and now they're not, and the scrutiny and all that stuff, and all the judgment and all. I mean, you got to say Stevie Y's making a decision for a reason, right?
The other thing is too is like I'm not backpedaling at all. I haven't liked Blashill since he was in Grand Rapids. Not as a person. He's not my favorite coach.
He's not your favorite coach.
The other thing is too is Detroit's got to play a little bit of a game here with the Seattle Krakens coming into the NHL next year.
Yeah.
They can't be playing guys. They can't be doing this stuff, or they're going to be up for bait to be selected into the draft, the expansion draft for the Seattle Kraken.
Yeah,
so you're not going to bring those stars in because you don't want them taken.
Yeah, it could be a chess move here. And what do you have to lose keeping the guy around? If you've got a couple more years before you're a contender again, why get somebody new in there right now?
I think there's better bags of pucks out there. I really do.
Yeah,
you disagreed with me. There's better bags of pucks.
He's saying there's better coaches.
Yes.
I got that right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're agreeing with that.
You're agreeing with me.
I agree. There's better coaches out there.
But you also agree with Stevie Y.
What do you mean?
That to stay around for a little bit longer.
I see what harm in keeping him around for a little while.
No, I agree with you.
And at the price tag, and also that you're not going to be a contender for a couple of years. Why change it? Just let it ride for a little while, and then when you get the right pieces in the right place, move forward.
I can't disagree more. I am a firm believer in culture. And the culture that has been brought into Detroit is not the winning championship culture that is necessary to take us to that next level. And Blashill has been a part of that. I would rather see somebody come in, change the blood flow, and get that championship hunger back again.
I think that's what I was getting at, though, because we've got a couple of down years, right? So extend the contract, give him a 2-year contract, right? And then change that culture completely with getting a new skipper, if you will.
But why sit there and have a guy that gets you to that point, and then all of a sudden he takes off and he's gone? Now you got to change the culture because they're so used to the one guy. Now you got to do it again when you're actually
he's not
going to
get them to that point. They're still going to struggle. It's give him a couple more years, see what happens. He could be great. He could fall on his face. And at that point, they'll make a coaching change, I would imagine, at least.
Well, that's what brings me to my quick question to you guys, because what you're saying both make sense. Now, you made a comment earlier, Brent, about paying more for a better coach. Are you suggesting, or do you know that maybe Blashill is on the lower end of being paid?
Well, yeah, he was, I think, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, one of those fact-checking things, but I want to say even last year, he was the lowest salaried coach in the NHL.
Now, that being said, I don't know if this is a thing, but I'm, again, coming up with maybe a hypothesis here. Keep him around, right? Like Stephan says, it's going to take, even if they get some new players, it's going to take a couple years. So keep him around at the low cost that he is. Use that money to give to some new players, to bring some new players on the table. I mean, I don't know if we're talking millions here or not. I
totally agree with you. That's kind of the point that I'm making. That's why Stevie Y I trust.
Right.
Might as well keep him around. I like to build a championship stuff early. Get it in the system, that culture of winning.
That could be Blashill.
But
it could be him.
When do you do your hardest clawing? When you're at the bottom,
when you're at the rock bottom,
you're about to be buried. Then you do your hardest clawing. So, maybe this is,
or you just lay down and die.
You could. And now we're left to see with what happens.
Yeah,
now, do you think that Blash is the lay down and die, or do you think he's a clawer?
I think he's a clawer, but I don't think the team supports him at the level that the team's not going to claw for
level?
him. Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Okay, the respected level.
What does he have? What has he done in the NHL, really? I mean,
no, he hasn't done anything in the NHL, really.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
He had a championship in the AHL, and that's why they moved him up to the end. So
great, but did you see the guys on the roster? They didn't need him. They could have had a bag of sticks.
Fair point.
Seriously, though.
Chris has got some info for us. Let's jump him in.
By no means is this a small salary, but yes, he is on the low end at $800,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's like coaches at $1 million plus, up to $6 million.
For other coaches,
yes.
What's the NHL entry level contract for a player?
Yeah, because
it's $750,000.
No, that's for a low end player.
Yeah. Right, that's what I mean. He's not making that much more.
But guess what? That player usually has potential.
No, what I'm saying is, like, for how much he's getting paid, like, can you really buy an awesome player for the difference of what a good coach gets paid for? And I'm thinking, that good player wants $5 million anyways.
Okay.
Dollars to donuts, that is a good call.
So wait, hang on. You're like, hey, what can you get for those dollars? I don't know. What's Sador going to get when he comes in? And I really think that kid's going to be a superstar. Yeah, they're probably going to have him.
Again, a young team that takes time to build. Like, how long was he in Grand Rapids, and how long did it take him to build that to get that championship?
You guys keep missing my point. He didn't build anything; it was already there.
But how long was he there for?
Too long.
Well, then he had a part to build.
Well, I'll just interject here. He should definitely get a bump up to $1 million if he can keep up with the Lions coach and get a Griffin or a Red Wing in a cage up in the corner of the stadium, like the Lions coach wants, with a lion
fair enough.
on a chain at the stadium.
We saw how that worked out in The Hangover when they stole Tyson's tiger.
Been there, seen it.
It's a lion, though.
I struggled.
And totally different.
I get a little passionate about it because, like, I do remember. I'm the old guy at the table, and I do remember the Dead Wings. I remember when I.XII came in and Fedorov defected and Kozlov, Konstantinov, and it was starting to build. Lidstrom was being put to the team. And you know what? For us old guys, man, the 80s really sucked for us. They got a coach, Scotty Bowman.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Go back in your history. The Red Wings were very young in the 90s. They had their lumps. They took their beatings. But they had a coach, to Jay's point, that could actually lead them to the promised land. Somebody that had the clout to do it. Go look up Scotty Bowman's history.
Yeah, he wasn't a first-time coach coming out of the lower ranks.
Blashill will be gone in 2 years. The Red Wings will become successful in another 4.
Right. And the one buried thing is that oh gosh, help me, Brent. I'm having a brain fart. The former coach of Pittsburgh that is from Mesquite. So Bylsma also in this chain of events was fired from his role rather as the PP coach, power play coach, for those of you that don't follow hockey as well as we do. So I thought that was kind of wild because
that one bothers me a little bit.
I can't believe Pittsburgh got rid of him, and then furthermore, they were successful under him.
Yes.
He maybe had a couple of down years, but they just scrubbed him.
Another thing is fact checking. I think, didn't he go to Buffalo for a little while too?
Oh boy,
I think
I can't confirm.
If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I believe he went to Buffalo for a little while.
Probably as an assistant of some sort.
No, I think he was head coach there.
Oh, was
for a
he head
moment.
coach?
And then he came to the Detroit Red Wings. I think Bylsma could potentially be a great head coach if given the proper opportunity to do it. I mean, he is a Michigan homegrown guy too, as well.
Yes.
I just think Bylsma, and like I said, we're not in these locker rooms. We don't know what's going on. He might be a terrible locker room coach. Who knows? There could be conflict with players and stuff like that. We don't know. But I think Bylsma, it just seems like he keeps getting the short end of the stick, in my opinion. And I would like to see him get a real shot again.
Yeah, there was talk that he was going to be the next front runner for the head coaching position if they got rid of Bylsma. Or if they got rid of Blashill.
Yes, that is true. I don't know what happened there, and I don't, like I said, in Stevie Y I trust, because I want to win another cup. I want Detroit to rise. I want Michigan to have all this pride again in their hockey organization. We got some great talent there, and it just seems like we're coming up just a little bit too short for what that red and white stands for.
We're in a real bad spot when it comes to athletics when you're putting all your chips on the Detroit Lions to have a successful season. And the Tigers have been in a funk. The Wings have been in a funk.
Wait a minute. I'm going to stop you right there, though. Tigers, yes, they've been in a funk for a long time. But wasn't there a no-hitter thrown the other day?
I don't know. I don't watch baseball.
Yeah, just nod your head and say
yes.
Yeah,
I saw that on the news.
I saw that. Yep.
No, I did. I saw that on the news.
I can't tell you his name, but there was a no-hitter thrown. It was against the Mariners.
Hey, I'm just going to throw an audible out there. With the little bit of baseball talk we're getting into, did you guys see that that batter get smoked in the beak by a 94-mile-an-hour fastball right off the face?
I played baseball my whole life. What do you do to precipitate that?
He was probably crowding the plate.
Did he lean in too much?
Oh, I honestly didn't.
I'm gonna have to look at. I'm gonna check it out after the show
have to
because
check that one out.
Because
we'll report back next week.
Unless it really gets away from somebody, he had a reason to be thrown at.
Right.
What you guys got to check out is that little guy. I don't know what age they were, but a pitch gets thrown. He swings at it. As he's swinging, a foul ball from the field next to it.
Oh yeah.
He hit both the balls at the exact same time.
That was really cool last year. I remember that.
Yeah, I just saw it rolling up. I didn't know if that was new or old, but I saw that rolling up to the other day on the old YouTube there or Facebook. I was like, gosh dang. So get back to this.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about the young team and the Wings, and I some semi-recent information, but Abdicator, like
he's not done.
Not done, but he's not around, right? He didn't get renewed last year?
No, but he's trying to make a comeback. Did you see that?
Because he's like, what, Europe or?
No, yes and no. Let me say, he just won a championship in Europe.
Yeah.
I have followed that. And he is being a part of the U.S. National team for a tournament or something that's going to be going on, I believe, this summer, winter. I haven't looked into it enough. And this is his last bid to try to make the show again.
Right, because for a local boy out of Mona Shores, I was kind of like, I didn't think he was doing amazing. Obviously, he wasn't like on the highlights every week or anything.
Of course not. He played for Blashill, and he was getting old. He didn't respect him.
Well,
he go back to this again.
He had plenty of great. A lot of people don't share the same contentment you have towards what's his face that went to Washington.
Old school. I know what leadership is, and it's not that guy.
But he could dust the mitts a little bit, and he could put some pucks in the net.
No, I'm not saying he was terrible by any means. I'm just saying, like, how did he not get signed again? Like, that was that was surprising to me.
I think you got to cut that weight.
Like, nobody asked him.
It's a different.
Yeah, he was put in waivers. Nobody picked him up.
Yeah,
the
nobody
game is
picked
changing,
him up.
boys.
Yeah. Why?
They're getting younger. They're looking. Just back to last week's
we're
talk.
35 years old. Yeah, Gabriel's 34, 35.
Yeah, to be 47. I get it.
I think he gragraduated the same year I did, 05.
Yeah, he was maybe a year behind us. But
Played against him a couple times.
Not
big
a big deal.
I'm going to talk to him once at the rink, maybe twice.
I bet you still didn't pass to him.
I mean, I definitely didn't pass to him.
Full circle.
He wasn't on my dang team. I played against him. I probably fed him a couple shoulders to the chest.
I think
a couple uppercuts.
I think Applicator was a good player in Detroit. He fit his role extremely well.
He was around for a long time.
Would I like to see him get another shot? Absolutely.
I agree.
Do I think he's going to get it? I don't know.
No.
Even in the 2 years that he's been gone, the game has changed and evolved again.
Guys, the life cycle goes working your way up to the NHL, playing in the NHL, finding out that you can no longer play in the NHL, and then go play in overseas.
You guys want to hear something pretty cool? Jumping out of this. So going back to the what's what about my weekend. So my buddy Shane, whose kid won the How 1 division bracket, went back to his house. So they have, I forget what you call it, but when a hockey player of high level comes in and he stays with you, he lives at your house.
Billet.
A billet. Okay, yep. That's
They
exactly
have a billet,
what they're. Yep.
a
So
billet kid.
they're what would you call them?
Billet parents.
Okay, yes. So they're billet parents. So this kid,
Yeah, I know hockey.
right?
Too easy. I'm letting this one go.
He lives with Shane and them, and he plays for I forget the name. He's 16 years old, but they pick it's one team out of Detroit. They pick from the entire U.S.
You got the entire
I
continental
forget
US.
the name of the team, but specifically picked for this team. Kids, what did he say? What, 16, 17, maybe?
They're
He
usually
committed.
around
He
that
was
age.
committed to Michigan in the 9th grade, and I think he's only in the 10th, 11th grade at this moment. So he's got another year on the team before he goes. But we were all hanging out and we were yapping and stuff, and he was telling me kind of the inside stuff of how this all goes down and how it all happens, and how some of his a couple of the guys on the team that are 17, 18 years old or 16, 17 years old that have already been just signed with the O and all this kind of stuff. And it was a pretty cool, could look at this young kid, and it's a dream for so many people. And I've watched him play. I've seen some film. I actually watched a game, so I guess maybe not film, but I watched a game, and he's a really good player. I gotta say his name, but
Sure.
But yeah, no, it was pretty fun to sit down and talk with him. We're drinking and talking hockey and talking about our kids. All that weird stuff that hockey parents do. And yeah, he was
Good
pretty
talk,
stoked.
Jay. I took a nap.
Yeah, you're sounds fantastic.
No, it was
What
a lot
else
of
did
fun.
Shane
That's cool.
say?
Tell Shane to keep an eye on his wife. I've heard stories about billet kids and their billet moms. I don't want to repeat on the
Okay,
air.
I gotta tell Shane not to listen to this because I said that to him once as a joke, and I'm pretty sure he physically tried to crawl through the phone and choke me.
It was.
Isn't that
It
a
was.
good
It,
idea?
Blame him.
I'm sorry, Shane. It was just a joke.
Yeah, no, that was a total joke, Shane. Please
Yeah.
don't come to Grand Rapids.
I mean, it doesn't happen to everybody, but it could happen.
No, I
Just teasing.
totally gave him some business for that. But
Oh,
no,
guys, we
they
got to
gotta-
move on a little
Yes,
bit
we
here.
do.
Well, move on. We got to get to the facts, so we got to do
So-
that fact check.
Yeah. So last week we talked about the milestone for Connor McDavid. I can't remember the number that he had. It was
Like 100,
100 and
points in 53 games?
some odd game. Yeah, 100 and some odd points in 50 some odd games.
Yeah, 53. I just said it.
I'm sorry, you did?
Yeah, I'm looking at
I was
it.
too busy listening to myself talk. So I pulled up the leaderboard, and I'm gonna list off where we, because we started throwing.
So
out
how
names
many
like
are there?
Gretzky,
I'll just
Lemieux.
do that, see how high you can count. How many are there
How many are there?
that have done 100 points in 50 games?
I have 5 written down. Now, I did this last week.
Okay.
So am I accurate thus
You are
far?
very accurate.
Okay, that's good.
David is the newest
accurate
one.
again.
Right.
Say accurate again.
Accurate.
Accurate.
Oh, wait. Accurate. Okay. Yeah.
I said it
Both
Midwest.
of you go screw yourselves
Accurate.
for giving me business on and on.
Accurate.
Accurate.
Whatever. Okay, so the
What are the other
I'm going
names
to
on
read
that
them from
list?
the top down.
Absolutely.
And I also have a little bit of spruce in here for you. So we've got Gretzky at number 1 with 1.92 points per game. Gretzky was born in 1961. Mario Lemieux, 1.88 points per game. He was born in 1965. Number 3.
Wait, hang on. I'm going to stop you right there. Everybody wants to argue about who's better, Lemieux or Gretzky. Lemieux did this accomplishment in 38 games.
Right. That's what I want to know. The
Continue.
games.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes Tiger so good for his career is how fast he did
You
things.
can't segue into Tiger.
I'm
Not a
sorry.
fan of Tiger. Don't like golf. We're moving on.
And number
we're
3
getting
is
back.
Bozy. He had 1.5 points per game, and he was born in 1957.
That's a great story. He's not on my list.
He's not on your list? Who's
No,
3 on your
I
list?
said what we're talking about last week was 100 points in 50 games.
Okay,
Okay, so the top, the 4 with McDavid now being added to the list.
right. I'm getting to him.
Okay, go. I'm waiting
Okay.
to see who else you have, but that guy,
Okay, so
great season,
so I've got
not relevant.
McDavid with 1.47 points per game, and he was born in 1997, and he is still going. Followed up by Bobby Orr with 1.39 points per game,
Another great guy.
Born
not
in
on the list.
48. So what list are you looking at in comparison
Our
to the one I
conversation
found?
was 100 points in 50 games. That's what we were talking about last week.
Yeah,
I
but these were this is the points per game
I don't
record
care about
leader.
that. I was comparing the 100
to the
points
100. Okay.
in 50 games.
Well, hey, F me.
See that gun over there? Go shoot yourself.
So no, that's
No,
what
the
we were
show is
talking
an
about last
absolute
week.
train wreck.
I know, absolutely. No, we might as well just cancel the show.
So
Okay.
let's talk about Tiger and golf.
No, hang on. No, because we looked it up. So I was so interested in it.
So when I looked it up, I looked up at the points per
You were
game
looking at
leaders.
points per game,
But you
over an
specifically
82 game
wanted to-
season,
right? And
which
you,
is
right. That's a milestone.
amazing.
But you specifically wanted to find 100 points, the race to 100
Yes,
points.
100 points in 50 games. That was what I was really focused on at that point.
Gotcha. My bad. I missed that mark.
No, I feel bad. Seriously, shut his mic
I don't
off.
think you feel bad at all.
Okay, besides McDavid, it's only happened 4 times in the history for a player to reach 100 points in fewer or 50 points in 30 or 50 games in 30 years. Mario Lemieux accomplished this feat twice in 38 games in 1992-93 and 95 and 96. Wayne Gretzky did it in 50 games in 1990 and 1991. And Jaromir Jagr reached it in 52 games in 1995 and 1996.
There you have it.
So I was so interested because I think Lemieux seriously was a better hockey player than Gretzky. I just always have thought that was the pinnacle.
Sure.
Mario Lemieux.
I think
Yes.
that can. We'll leave that one up in the ether for those that are.
Hey, for all of you who
Gretzky
want to rip Brent,
Lemieux.
please do so.
Yes, go ahead.
Via
Go ahead and do it.
email or website.
So that was a callback to a discussion that we had last week.
Or feel free to rip him on Twitter because it looked like his fact sheet that he was looking at was a tweet. So hit us up there as well.
Yes.
So
Let me have it.
this next story is hockey related, but also pretty deep rooted for those of us in the Silver Puck community. Anybody that plays hockey, especially those that are in their early to mid 30s. We have a fallen comrade, and I'm just going to kind of skim through the obit, but our friend Dave Truszkowski, or Dave T, as a lot of us would refer to him, passed away on Saturday night after over a month-long fight with COVID. Dave was 39 years old. He grew up in the Grand Rapids area, and I'm just going to skim through here just a little bit. He lost his father in 2008, and Dave is the youngest of 4 sisters. So, as you can imagine, him and his dad had one hell of a bond. I remember playing with him that summer after his dad passed away, and he obviously took it pretty hard. Everybody that knows Dave, he's got an infectious personality and a smile, and he brings a lot to the table. He's a great locker room guy and a hell of a performer on the ice. And I think on top of all of that, he was always a dear friend and would never turn you down for a stupid conversation that maybe he wasn't interested in, but he was there, and plenty of stories and fun hijinks. So with that, he also has many nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, and cousins, and most importantly, his daughter Olivia is left behind. She's going to have to grow up without her father, and that just rips me right to the gut. A little more accolades of Dave. Dave graduated in 2000 from Kennewa Hills. He later on received a bachelor's degree from Western Michigan. As soon as Dave learned to walk, he was in skates. So a lot of us can relate to that. Dave played through the Grand Rapids Amateur Hockey Association at Patterson. He played Griffin's travel hockey and later played for the Kennewa Hills Knights. Following his high school career, he played with us in rec hockey and pretty much all of Brent's tournaments, SPC tournaments. Dave was a avid sports fan who loved the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Go Irish. Dave and I personally would talk about Irish football, hockey, etc. on a regular basis when we ran into each other.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dave had a heart of gold. He had a signature smirk and a contagious laugh. He'd brighten your day. Anybody that spent time with Dave could attest to any of this stuff. He also was a hockey coach for youth hockey. And anybody that's interested, there's going to be a massive Christian burial celebrated at 11 a.m. Saturday, May 22nd at St. Anthony of Padua. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a church, St. Anthony on Richmond. There will be a mass, and then the burial will be at Holy Cross Cemetery. The family will receive visitors on Friday, May 22nd from 4 to 7 at our Silhouettes Brothers on Remembrance. And in lieu of flowers, the family would like donations to go to the Spectrum Health COVID Response Fund and the Grand Rapids Griffins Youth Foundation.
Just to touch on this for a brief moment, Dave was a part of the Silver Puck family since the very beginning, stepping in with as you know, Barley's RVO, hanging out with Dewey. Later on, he would play with Stu. I do want to say that it's Silver Puck might be 17 years, and Dave was a part of many of those. He was an annual attendee to the event. And we will be doing something special during the John English Memorial Cup weekend. We are touching base with the family and the sisters to come up with something for David. I personally just want to say thank you in appreciation for all the years that David has given me the conversations, time, and coming to the events and being a part of those and showing his support to that. So Before we get to the outro, I would like to just take a brief moment of silence to remember our good friend, David Truszkowski. All the years he's touched a lot of our hearts, and it's time for us to give a little bit of that back now to him and his family.
This one's for you, buddy.
We love you, Dave.
All right. Well.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Check out justchirpin.com. There you can find our bios, our guest bios, and many things you may find interesting. Feel free to send us an email or a message on all of our social media apps. You can also hear all of our episodes on our site, and you can sign up to be a special guest if you would like. Give us a like and follow us for the latest in hockey, life, and everything in between. That's justchirpin.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you at the rink.
See you, boys.
See ya. Make good choices.
Welcome to the show. It's called Chirpin, yo. And chirpin's what we do. And if you play a little bit of hockey, then I'm sure you'd be chirpin too. So I started this show with my good friend and my crazy ass cousin. So get on this mic and we'll chirp all night, 'cause we're chirping to you. So pull up a chair and grab a brew and listen to Chirpin. Chirpin, yeah, I'm talking about that dirt nine chirpin. You know I got that dumb chirpin. Yeah, I'm talking about the dirt nine chirpin. Got that dumb bang chirpin. Yeah.
What in the hell are you doing? Give me that guitar right now. You're done.
Go back to the pond.
I'll go yourself, buddy.
I've heard better chirps out of a dead bird. You.
And Hank Williams Sr., you are not.